So winter is almost upon us. I want to talk about a few things that we can upgrade with our cameras, some gear, some fun stuff that we can talk about. Let's get into it. Now, we're going to focus on smaller things that are going to help any camera kind of take it to the next level. I love the idea of a hi-hat, but I said, am I really going to be using this? The truth is, when I am doing run and gun and I'm by myself, I don't want to take a big heavy tripod. This thing has been amazing for me, especially if you're using it for some sports work, you need low angles, or you can mount it on a desk and you have an idea of how you can use this thing. It's amazing. So this is the Benro hi-hat. It's the 100mm bowl version. You have different feet that you can use. Now, this thing's light enough to put in a backpack. You get really great low angle shots, or you can place it on the table, extend the legs. You've got a lot of options here. Now it gets pretty tall and it holds a lot of weight. So I use this with my Ursa and I use it with my FX3 and a whole bunch of other cameras that I have. Love taking this with me and I really get the shots that I need without having to bring along a huge tripod, but it can handle the weight with a cage and everything else on it. Again, I think it's worth the value. The hi-hat comes along alone. You can get the bowl separately. You can do 100mm, 75, and I think there's another option as well. As far as the head goes, I'm using this old school. This is the Manfrotto MBH 502. It's been a great head. I use 3 of them now. I've used them also for the heavier camera that I have, and also for my lighter cameras as well. These are really great. You know, you can use them for different situations, whether you're using for a slider or anything else. And we'll get to that in a moment, how I kind of mount this onto this. So again, this is the Benro hi-hat. Use it for a lot of productions. Really easy to kind of carry. And just, I think, a nice necessity to have. So if you're looking into something like that, this is the way to go. So this is with the FX3 all built up. It's fairly heavy once I put all these accessories in, which we'll talk about as well. But as you can see, it really puts me in a good situation with this. I can angle this, I can pick this up, I can still handle the weight. It's actually great for tabletops, great for low angle shots. And again, you can mount this in very different ways. So even for this kind of minimalist setup that I have here with the Ursa, works extremely well. Next up, let's talk about the FX3 setup here. Now, this is a little bit of an overkill. This is something I would use if I was using this on a production all day and needed the extra battery power. That's when I'd use this base plate, and that's where I would actually mount any additional accessories on here. But again, usually I use this in a much lighter format. Again, handle, monitor is really what I need. If I'm outdoors, I'll use the matte box if need be. And again, follow focus, or I'll use an auto lens and strip this down to the bare minimum. As far as transmitters go, I'm still rocking the Holyland 400S. These do really well on this camera, by the way. Really low latency, and I've never had a problem with an image. I use this on my Ursa as well. You can use it for your Blackmagic Pocket 6K, 6K Pro. That's when I first bought it, and I'm still sticking with it. What I will be talking about is I'm going to change the antennas a little bit, because I think better antennas are going to give you more consistency throughout. Although I have not run into that, I've heard that it helps. So I'll give it a shot and I'll make a video on that too. So definitely Mars 400S, yeah, it's older, it's cheaper, and it works exactly the same. So don't let that new repackaging fool you. These are amazing. Really love that. Now, to mount something like, for example, this, I have this really fun and easy NATO rail attachment. Now, what's great about this NATO rail attachment here is that you can mount a monitor, you can mount a receiver, you can mount a transmitter, and it goes on and off 1, 2, 3. Again, you can screw in your monitor, receiver, and what have you. And I've used this on different cameras depending on what I'm shooting, so I can change the package out. And as you can see, there's some consistency in here. Everything I use for other cameras as well. So if I decide I don't want to go with this, I can use this for something else. So I'm not thinking just one camera brand, one thing only. It's really about reuse of products that don't end up on the side shelf or really a waste of money. So it slides on super fast, super easy. You just use this little clicker here, little lever, just lock that in. With that lever, it's all in there. Great part is I can take this now, bring it down here. If I have my receiver going a certain way and they're facing each other, maybe I'll want to use it like this, or for most of the applications, I'll leave it up there. So this is pretty much a nice little inexpensive hookup to put on your cage if you already have one. Speaking of NATO rails, let's talk about cages. This is the Condor Blue cage, and if you have an FX3 or if you're getting the FX30, incredibly versatile cage. Has a little leveling bubble on it. I love the way that they set this up. It's light enough, and you can add other features for maybe other pieces of cages that you use. There's so many mounting points on these cages. I'll leave a link below. Again, Condor Blue is making some really good products. I've got a record feature on here. I've got all these locking mechanisms. Again, I can put in, which is what we're going to talk about next, is the DJI mic goes right in here, clips nicely, keeps this little rig super tight, super clean. I love it. Next thing I wanted to focus on, DJI mic. You've seen a million videos out there. Those are all by people who've been given the mic for the majority. I bought this with my own money. This mic works extremely well. To keep it in perspective, when I'm carrying this, that's all I need is this. And then I bring the little pouch here. I've got my little mini dead cat, and then I'm using these lav mics. These lav mics are great if you don't want that box kind of blinking and sitting on you, or using the magnet dragging your shirt down, and you want to go more traditional. We've got these Shure mics here. Now they're more expensive than the others, but these got better reviews. I did test some cheaper ones out. These do a great job. You're gonna have to bump up just slightly on the gain with them, but overall you're getting clean sound. So speaking of the DJI mic, what's great about this, I've used this on different cameras. So all I have to do is unplug it, and if I have all the right kind of cables, I can just plug it right into other cameras as well, which I love the fact of doing that. Secondly, if I want to use this as some sort of audio system and record, let's say from a boom mic, it makes it so small. So here's my boom pole. Basically, all I need to do is grab one of these actual transmitters, hook it up to this, and do internal audio in here, or I can connect it, have it go to camera, as you know already. The one thing you will need is specific cables. This is female to male 3.5. I hook this up here, and to put it in a simple way, basically I can record internally. Now I've got my boom pole, good to go, getting all the sound that I need, or I can transmit it directly to camera as well. No real time code needed if I'm using a main camera. I'm pretty set. I love the fact that this is so small. This is just one of the uses you can use with the DJI mic. Works really well with my GoPro and the iPhone, or any sort of Android phone as well. USB-C, and it's got the iPhone connector as well. So DJI really knocked it out of the park. Really highly recommend this mic. Sounds great, easy to use, perfect for what I need. If you're using a camera that uses proper XLR, like let's say the Ursa G2, which for this I had to get a specific cable. So now if I want to put my transmitter, and I'll put it back here just to show you what that looks like. So now you can use it via XLR right back here, and then you can hook up your talent with this. You're good to go. You can use a lav mic that I spoke about earlier. Again, I use the Shure lav mics. Don't try to use something from like the G2s, G3s that have a screwable connector, because they're not going to work. It's not going to reach. It's going to pop out. Trust me, I already tried. It doesn't work. Use cables like this. I think these nice braided cables work really well. So that's that for the DJI mic. So if you are going to build up your FX3 or FX30 and you want to use some sort of mounting kit for your V-mount, this Niti adapter here is really great. You've got your DTAP right here. You've got actually two of them, one on each side, which is wonderful, gives you two options. And then you've got a 14.8 volt that can go right in here. Again, two of them, one on each side, which is really nice. So far, so good. Haven't had any burnouts, didn't burn my camera down. So I'm really glad about that. As far as battery power, I can recommend these micro batteries. This is one that I use. Obviously, I cover labels on everything, but I'll put the link below for this battery. Great battery. I've had it for over 1.5 years. Again, wasn't given to me. This is something I purchased. The other one is the Indy Pro 98. I love this one actually for this, and also the Ursa G2. It keeps the profile really low, and I'll show you what that looks like as well. So again, for batteries, those are the ones that I recommend. Now, most of the time, I don't have this on a cage. It looks really cool, looks really pretty, but I'll break this down. I'll show you how I generally have this camera. So this is how I have my camera most of the time. It's light enough. I've got my handle. I've got my DJI mic hooked up here. Everything is just seamless, easy. I've got a follow focus that works really, really well without me having to move too much, and the camera's light enough to handle. I love this. This will work really well for your FX3 or your FX30. Again, I'm using the Condor Blue cage. Everything I bought on my own, so nobody's telling me what to say and what's good about it or not. Love this cage, love this setup, really lightweight. Monitor doesn't matter. If you have one already, use what you got. This is great. Now, if I wanted to have some sort of hand control for a follow focus, I can take this off. And by the way, kind of over the black kind of 15mm rods, I went back to my old school aluminum rods. So I'll take this off a second here. So I was sent this by PD Movie. It's a strange name, but this thing works really, really well. Why? Because there's no cables. I love this. I can use this on my Ursa, any sort of cine lenses, which is great, or even your older kind of like basic lenses, put them in manual and use this. What's cool about this is that I don't need wires at all. I hook this up here, and it does come with a little hand attachment so you can do it remotely. But if I wanted to just use my camera right now without the follow focus, the Tilta follow focus, I take that off, super light, works extremely well. How do I pair this? Really simple. Comes with a slide-in battery. Only con is you have to take this guy out. If you forget, the battery's gonna die. Nothing's perfect. But this one actually works really well. It's a strong, strong motor. But reminder, there's no cables. There's nothing going on here. Now, if I want to pair these guys together, so now I can use this, 1, 2, 3. Super easy, amazing, great, worth the value. And I think they actually came down in price. I did a video on this, so I'll put the link below. So let's say my shoot is completely vertical now. It's a social video, and they're asking for it, and they want it to be completely vertical. What do? I can bring it like this, take my monitor, tilt my monitor down, bring that forward. Now I've got myself a setup that's perfect for vertical. Now, instead of having the focus wheel over here, what I can do is unscrew it. So now I got a vertical setup, and I can actually control my lens, not a problem. So I'm holding it like this, and I can even if I want to go crazy, put my matte box on this way, and now I've got this completely vertical setup. It looks like I'm going the right way, but I'm not. It actually is supposed to go this way. And that's how quick I turned it into a vertical setup. Really nice. And this is what I love about the FX3, and you're going to love about the FX30 and FX3. Really easy to deal with camera, small and easy to do things like this, which I think is awesome. So again, this follow focus system is great. Handle you can get by SmallRig. I'll leave a link below. And now I've got my nice little setup. I've got my easy record button here. Nice. Love this setup. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.